welcome to another Sci-Fi Fantasy Saturday. Today, we're going into space. In fact, we're going to the sun. In fact, we're going too close to the sun in Solar Storm. This is a solitaire, it's a multiplayer and a solitaire game. Solar Storm by Aiden Lothar. Probably mispronounced that, and I apologize. Looks like it's won some awards here on the front. Take a look at the back here. This is basically a card-based game with some tokens here. As you see, there's age 10 to plus, 45 minutes, 1 to 4 players. I picked it up for the potential solitaire play. I might play this multiplayer as well, but I was attracted to it because the theme looked interesting and it was solitaire play. It says right here, work together or die alone in this cooperative survival game for 1 to 4 players that will make even the most hardened crews and solo players swelter. Hand management and teamwork are the key to weathering the solar storm. Repair different areas of the ship and divert power back to the energy core, all whilst the ship continues to take damage from the solar storm. Succeed and you will live, fail and you'll all perish in the scorching abyss. So you're going too close to the sun. This is your ship, and you're trying to go to each of these areas and areas of the ship and divert power from here to the core. And then when you do that, you put a token on here. Once you put a token on all the outer areas, then you win the game. If any of these outer areas get lost or completely damaged, I think you lose the game. Need to read up on the rules a little bit more on that, but that's generally the gist. You have these cubes here to track damage on these areas. When you want to repair it, there is symbols under these cubes that you'll play a card to repair that. There's symbols over here that's how you divert power. Once you have those matching symbols, you can play that and then divert power. Put a token there to show that you've completed it, and then you've diverted power to the core, and you've got to do that all the way around there. This is a game that draws a lot from some other games, most notably maybe kind of a pandemic feel, in that there is, there are basically 2 phases. You do something good, you have some actions that you can do, which is like collecting resources or using the abilities of the room that you're in. You're going to have a meeple representing you, and you're moving around here. And each of these different rooms have different special abilities that you can utilize. So there's going to be a phase where you do something to help the ship out, and then there'll be something bad that happens, and it's going to ramp up over time. I mean, it might affect 1 room, and then it might affect 2 areas, and then if you get late into the game, it might even affect 3 areas. And so it's kind of has a built-in clock that you need to, beat the game before the game beats you. So you're going to be doing something good, and the game's going to be doing something bad to you. So, there's other games out there that do that, but this is a nice tight little package here, and that's why I decided to pick this up. And it's made a few lists of, it's 1 to 4 players, so it is cooperative, but it's made a few people's list of, solo games that are up and coming, so that's one reason I picked it up. Nice little small box there, thick box, good quality there. Here are the rules, and they are 24 pages, but it's a small little book here, but 24 pages. There's the objective. Here's your contents of the different cards and the like. Setting up the game, and depending on the number of players, it's going to set up a little bit differently. One of their special rules for solo play. Here's a setup example. Sorry for the glare there. It's coming from the sun. Here's how to play. And some of your actions are like move. You can be moving around this grid here. Scavenge, that's to get resources. Share resources if you're in the same area. Repair a room, and that's where you take all your resources or you match the resource to the area that needs repair. And you cannot divert power unless it's completely repaired. So that's a constant struggle of repairing so that you can set up the divert power. So when you are playing as cooperative, it's kind of a teamwork element of someone making sure stuff's repaired and the other one making it, diverting power in the next turn or the like. You can activate a room, use its special ability. You can divert power, which is the key to winning the game, and that's where you have to have those resources for that room to divert power, plus it has to be in full repair. Here is take an action token. You can take an action token so you can have an extra action for the next round. If there's really nothing to do this round or nothing optimal, you can take an action token so you can have more actions later in the game. Here's the game end conditions. Here's solo mode, so really only 13 pages of rules. And then solo mode is pages 14 and 15, and then you get into expansions. So there's some alternate room cards here. There's some different damage control, and there's an escape pod for 3 and 4 players only. Here's some room actions, some explanation of some of the room actions here. Left a little bit of an FAQ maybe. And then the credits. So there you have it. So not a lot there. This is a relatively simple game to play. Here are your counters. They're sealed, and these are the power, I think, that show that you've completed diverting power. Here are some of the preserve actions, and I'm not sure what these are for. Looks like it's extra defense or something like that. Here's my silica intake, I think. Don't know what that is. It's in a different language. Okay. You have your meeples. So it plays up to 4 players. Got some meeples there. We have, these are the track status cubes, showing what you have damage on the different rooms. We have a die, nice green die there. Kind of like that. And the rest of it is cards, because this is basically a card game. What do we have here? We have, some baggies. So we got some baggies too. So let's see what these cards are. See if there is a tab on the side. Sometimes there is a tab, and sometimes I am good at finding it, and sometimes I am bad. I have no nails. So there you have that. I got this one started. So here, I think these are some of the resources that you get here. Nanobots, universal, those are like wilds. And I think you can scale the game up or down by putting more or less of these into the resource deck. That's one of the, whoa, my goodness. We got way too close to the sun there. One of the ways you can lose the game is, I think the deck runs out. I think that's one of the ways you lose the game. Boy, sorry about that there. Got me kind of woozy too. So that's protection. So those counters there kind of go with these protection, I think, or part of that. Here are reference cards. So these are the player cards and they're in the different colors. So that you got your phase 1 and phase 2 and phase 3. So again, phase 1, you're doing something good. Phase 2, you get resources, so you automatically kind of get some cards. Again, that feels a little bit like Pandemic. You're drawing cards. And then damage ship. That's the bad stuff that happens. So you got 4 of those for each of the different player colors. Here are these are the bad things I think that can happen. Let's see here. So this is where it's going to happen. So this is damage to the bridge. Some of the, this is, I think, later on in the game where you got 3. So damage to the engine room, repair center, and mess hall. So again, it kind of ramps up over time. There's probably a way to seed these. And then we have, here are the different parts of the ship. So you can see, if that's exposed, then you're going to have to play one of those to fix it. Or if those two are both, you're going to have to play one of those and then a nanobot to fix that. This is the resources you need to divert power. And here is a special ability. Place 2 protection tokens on any rooms. This ends the start of your next turn. So I imagine those protection tokens probably soak up damage that happens in that last round. And so that's why you probably want to, those damage tokens are probably pretty helpful. Here's the bridge, cargo hold, crew quarters, energy core, engine room, medical bay, mess hall, repair center, and then here's the escape pod, which is only for 3 to 4 players, and here is, I think this is another We survived the solar storm. So this, I think, is something optional rule as well, I believe. Anyway, we'll see when we get into the rules proper as we learn how to play this game. Here's some more resource cards here. So those are data cards. Then you have energy. So you got data, energy, and metal, nanobots. And then these are the rest of the nanobots here. Then you got a universal. So this is the resource deck. Right here, you'll shuffle this up and you'll get a different variety of resources, which is really what you're trying to manage to win the game. Then, of course, you have these are the player reference sheets here. These are protection. I don't know how these come into play, but they're added protection for the game there. Here are the areas of the ship. So there's really no board. The board will be these cards here, these different room cards. And you got the bad stuff. Let's put the resources here and the bad stuff here. So that is what you get in a box of, put that there, a box of Solar Storm. Boom, boom. Cooperative game. Looks relatively easy to get into. Not a lot of complexity there. But it does look interesting, it does look challenging, and to me, the fact that it's not that complex is this should be easy to get into, especially for a solo play, to kind of pull it out, set it up, and knock out a few plays. And that's what I like about certain solo games, that easy setup, easy access, challenging. Sometimes solo games can be kind of a puzzle, but having that challenge, and then easy to put back in the box and go about your day, or use this as a filler maybe even. But this doesn't look too bad. It looks interesting. If this would have come out 10, 15 years ago, it might have been groundbreaking. Now it feels possibly a little derivative of some other stuff, but still looks interesting in and of itself. If you're playing this or like this or have done anything with it, love to know your thoughts on it as well. Feel free to put those in the comments down below. But this has been my space and sci-fi contribution to Sci-Fi Fantasy Saturday. Thanks all. Take care. Thanks for watching.